Hello and welcome, friends. Welcome to another exciting review of a vintage fountain pen. Today, guys, I have for you the iconic, the classic school fountain pen from the 1950s and the 1960s. Probably the most popular school fountain pen from the West Europe back then. It was popular not only in its country of origin, Germany, but also in France, Italy, and other countries. Of course, we are going to talk about the iconic Pelikan 120. So this beautiful iconic fountain pen has put Pelikan on the map of fountain pens. This is my opinion, guys. So this beautiful fountain pen you see in front of you was produced from 1955 till 1965. And of course, it was, let's say, copied by other German fountain pen producers, including the Mont Blanc with its famous Monte Rosa. I think I have the Monte Rosa. Yes, it's right over here, guys. I have it right over here. It is similar in size with the other fountain pens that I have prepared for you. I have one of its competitors, so Faber-Castell, and one interesting fountain pen from Artus, which later was incorporated in Lamy. But also I have on the desk newer fountain pens that tried to bring a new design to the table, like this beautiful Aureta from the 1970s. Well, before the 1970s, in the 1950s and in the 1960s, this fountain pen dominated the market. It was not expensive, but it was quite reliable, and every school children wanted to have this because it was really a good fountain pen. Interesting, from the first days of its production, it was designed for school use, and most of them have a serial number engraved on the barrel. This serial number engraving was done such to make each pen clearly individual identifiable from others. So if I had the same pen like you, I know for sure based on the serial number what was my fountain pen. So you could not steal it, or I don't know, borrow it and never return because it had a serial number. Not in this case of this particular example. Let me analyze it for you guys, and after that we will compare it with other German products from the 1950s. I'm sorry about the lighting, guys. Maybe, yes, I need to change a little bit the lighting. I need a little bit more light on this fountain pen, and I hope that I can get more light. Yes, this is it. Yes, now we clearly see the beautiful dark green in combination with this black. In fact, I will call it the Pelikan 120 green black version, the most popular version of this beautiful fountain pen. As you see, it has clearly the design of the 1950s, the torpedo shape, the beautiful torpedo shape or cigar shape. You probably know I'm a big fan of this shape. In fact, if you look at those Mont Blancs over here, probably most are from the 1950s. This is my favorite period in the German fountain pen industry. But let's return to our fountain pen. So it has this beautiful, beautiful cigar shape design. What is interesting about it, it has those beautiful, beautiful gold plated trims. And if we zoom on the clip, we definitely can see the distinctive Pelikan clip. Definitely a trademark of the Pelikan brand. And speaking about trademarks and logos, if we go to the top, we definitely can see thermically engraved the mother with the two cheeks. Okay, guys. Another distinctive imprint or engraving we have on this gold plated ring at the end of the cap. We have Pelikan 120 and Germany. Of course, we have a classic screwed in cap, so we screwed it on and it reveals the beautiful ink window, which is also green, transparent green, the grip section, and the wonderful, wonderful nib. You must know that the Pelikan 120 had steel nibs, gold-plated steel nibs, but they only made it in the steel nib version. In this particular case, we have an extra fine nib, and it is a good thing that Pelikan writes or engraves on the nibs their size. Unfortunately, this particular model that I have in my collection has this crack in the grip section. It's not a major crack, but it is present. And by the way, speaking about cracks, or I think I have a little bit over here. By the way, on the cap we have thermically engraved Pelikan 120. And returning to our nib, at the end of it we have a beautiful, beautiful ebonite feeder. This is a wonderful condition. You see it has those thin walls separating the different sections. Well, usually these are broken because they are quite fragile, but in this case we have a wonderful, wonderful feeder to this fountain pen. So guys, let me tell you what I paid for it. I paid around 200 lays for it. So around 40 euros or 45 American dollars. I think I did okay because I did not have in my collection this iconic school fountain pen. So it is of course a piston filler, if I did not mention. By turning this knob we can see this beautiful, beautiful ending of the piston. It is quite modern because we don't have a cork, a wooden cork, but a plastic material. So we are talking about the second half of the 1950s when the te- injected plastic became available. In fact, this is not celluloid, it is all made out of plastic. Let me compare it with other fountain pens, and I will start with those two Faber-Castells. Beautiful, beautiful Faber-Castells. What is interesting about those Faber-Castells is that on the cap, not on the barrel, we have the serial number. And as you can see, we have different serial numbers for the same type of fountain pen. So guys, you see the shape of them. In this particular case, we have a number 53. The model is 53 SF. You see, both of them are the same model. I will choose just only one of them to compare it with the Pelikan 120. It's a little bit longer, the Faber-Castell one, but as I open it, you can see the similarities between the two models. So two fountain pen designed for school use, and you can see both of them have the ink windows. I'm curious to see if the Pelikan has integrated the piston filler, and yes, it is a yes. And again, although it's quite dirty, we have also a plastic feeder. So I will leave the Faber-Castell here and here. And I have also an Artus Favorite. Artus was a manufacturer, German manufacturer, and I believe it was acquired by Lamy at the late 1950s. You see the same cigar shape. This model is 402. We have a personalization of the previous owner, and here Artus Favorite. If we open it, I'm sorry, you can see the great ink barrel here. This is a multifaceted one. And let me see if we have an integrated piston filler. Let me see. And the answer is yes. I don't want to get the ink over there, but I hope that you will see the piston through the ink window, the end of the piston. Yes, let me see. So yes, we have here the end of the piston. So basically the same design, guys, the same design of the Germans from the 1950s. So Pelikan was the trendsetter, this Pelikan 120. In the 1970s, we have this new Aurora, which had an interesting design. But what did it bring new to the industry? Well, it was the first one that came with an ink cartridge, a special ink cartridge. Again, it was, let's say, copied by Pelikan with its other famous model for school use, the famous Pelicano. So Pelicano adopted a similar type of ink cartridge you see on Auretta, but it was different at the end. It was narrower, and that became the international standard of ink cartridges we see now in our present days. So, guys, you could say that this is the grandfather of the Pelicano, and in my point of view, Pelicano is probably the most iconic school fountain pen of all time. But back in the 50s and 60s, this one dominated, guys. Before I will do a writing sample with it, I will leave its dimensions on the screen, and I will change the angle of the camera, guys, for you to see better the writing sample. So bear with me for a second. Yes, I've changed the angle. I think now it's quite okay. So for the writing sample, let me see what I can use. What type of ink should I use, guys? Let me choose a turquoise ink because I think it is similar to the green color of it. I have here a Faber-Castell, a turquoise ink. Okay. Now I'm going to open the ink bottle. I will give it a little shake, guys, before I will use it. Now I will gently open it. Okay. And now I will draw the ink. So for the ink to be drawn, let me zoom out. Yes, I'm going to push it down and make sure that the breathing hole is completely immersed in ink. Now I will turn the piston. Okay. And I will draw ink like this. You can see the reservoir is now full and quite nice. I will put it right over here. Let me show you guys. So I have the reservoir here. Okay, this particular model posts, and I will use it posted. So what do I have here, guys? I have here Pelikan 120 in green black, the classic green black. In fact, I think that was the only color available of this particular fountain pen. It was a fountain pen made in Germany, and this particular model was sold in the beginning with 1955 and ending with 1965. So for almost a decade, almost 10 years. Let me give you a little zoom, guys. Okay, made in Germany between those dates. And I must tell you that there was another production, and it was reissued in 1973, and it was produced till 1977. The main differences between those two variants, and quite easy to recognize, is the fact that the old one, like I have this one in my hand, it has a total length of 125 millimeters, and the other version has around 130 millimeters. So approximately 130 millimeters. And believe me, guys, 5 millimeters is quite distinct. You can see it that this version is slightly longer than the previous version. It has a steel nib. It is gold plated. In this case, we have thermically engraved on it EF, so EF for extra fine, guys. And of course, a steel nib. Now, I will try to show you if we have some flex to this nib. Let me see. So definitely you can see some little flex to it. Just look at it. So we have a little flex. Now I'm curious to see if we have some line variance. So here I don't put pressure, but here I'm starting to put pressure, and you can see clearly a difference. So we have also a little line variance. So let me tell you guys what I really think about the German school fountain pens of the 1950s and the 1960s. Look at this wonderful steel nib. It has just a little bit of flex, just a little bit of line variance, and this makes it a great writer, not only for school use, for heavy use, but also for daily use. So quite a juicy nib. This means we have also a great signature fountain pen, and indeed it is great at signatures too. And now let me see if we can reverse write with it. Reverse writing. So definitely a possibility, guys, but I must tell you that you can reverse write it for short sessions of writing because it scratches a little bit. It didn't lose its ink flow, but it definitely scratches a little bit. So maybe a yes, but for short sessions. Let me see here. Short sessions. Okay, reverse writing definitely a possibility, but not for a long time. And now, guys, let me tell you about the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So quite nice, guys. Sincerely, I was expecting a little bit of a smoother nib. It is definitely not a smoother nib. It has that little flash that I told you about and that little line variance. But let me tell you, I can't call this a smooth nib. But this is not a problem. Maybe it is the fact that we have here an extra fine nib, but I think that a really good school fountain pen should also be quite easy to use, and I'm not seeing this today, guys. So depending on the type of steel nib, gold plated type of nib, I think it depended also your capability to write long sessions of writing. Don't get me wrong, guys. This is a wonderful fountain pen. I bet it was a workhorse back in its days when it was new. But judging by the way that it has all those years, so it is older than my mother, an old piece. Okay, don't tell my mother I said that. So it's quite an interesting school fountain pen. And probably it was so popular because indeed it was a reliable piece. So guys, this was my review of a wonderful Pelikan fountain pen. This is probably one of the most iconic Pelikans in my point of view. So not everybody could afford a Pelikan with a gold nib, a solid gold nib. But believe me, guys, I bet that this model had its contribution in saving Pelikan from the great disaster that was called the ballpoint pen. So, guys, this was available in the time that when the ballpoint pen, actually the ballpoint pen became available 10 years before this model, and it took the world of fountain pens by storm. So probably if you know what the quartz movement meant for the watch industry, the mechanical watch industry, you probably know that the ballpoint pen had almost the same impact on the industry of fountain pens like the quartz movement had on the industry of mechanical watches. So it was a disaster, but this fountain pen, which was so popular, contributed to the success of the Pelikan, and I'm sure that it plays a very important role in the history of this great German manufacturer. So, guys, I want to thank you for your time. I want to wish you to have a nice day, guys. Wherever you are, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for watching this review. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel to support my activity. In return, I will bring to you interesting reviews about vintage and new fountain pens each and every day. I will see you again at the next episode. Till then, bye bye and God bless.